A hearty welcome to Soft Talk. This edition will be a bit metaphorical, so let me start the program. A jaundiced sun caught in a monstrous wave of concertina wires. A malnourished sun trying to give light and heat to all by overcoming the walls of injustice and inequality that stand everywhere in this newfound doomsday republic. A feeble sun trying hard to shine through the Guantanamo Bay of a different kind, where knowledge and other higher ideals have remained in perpetual captivity despite what seems to be a never ending wave of political change. These centers of knowledge, these centers of science and arts have always remained, have always acted as, have always played second fiddle to state powers. Most probably, this is because we were mere foot soldiers mobilized to lay our dear lives for the fulfillment of powerful foreign interests at the expense of core national interests. That's why our struggle to end tyranny and bring democracy by snatching powers from Rana and Shah dictators has always ended up weakening not only domestic authoritarian citadels of power but the entire country. This decline in turn has ended up strengthening foreign darbars in this country, turning uh, these foreign powers, into the masters of our collective destinies in a geostrategic choke point where the superpower, hyperpowers, and regional powers are in a perpetual struggle for supremacy. We and our ancestors fought for the transfer of sovereignty from Shah and Rana rulers to the people. Little did we know that we would be repeatedly shortchanged and subjugated in this process. The extraordinary access of India and other foreign powers, whether it's in the 1950s, the 1990s, and the 2000s, in Nepal's corridors of power, proves one thing: our national sovereignty has remained in perpetual confinement in foreign darbars. In our strivings, our struggles for bringing dictators, the national dictators, to sides, we have ended up weakening national sovereignty further and further. How so? You may ask. Let me elaborate with a few examples. After the 1950s political change that toppled the Rana regime, our first democratically elected Prime Minister gifted the Kosi River system to the dear neighbor. The next Prime Minister followed in his brother's inglorious footsteps, gifting another vital river, the Gandaki River, despite widespread despite widespread protests against the same. The same democratically elected Prime Minister allowed the establishment of foreign paramilitary outposts, 18 in number as per some historical accounts, along Nepal's northern frontiers to keep a close watch on our northern neighbor. This inglorious practice continued with the gifting of the Mahakali River after the 1990s political change that ended the Panchayat regime and established a democratic polity with constitutional monarchy. The 2000s political changes abolished the Shaha monarchy, and transformed Nepal into a federal, secular, democratic republic, at least on paper. Indeed, such a change would not last without Nepal losing her pound of flesh. In recognition of neighborly support for this transformation, the new regime gifted some more lifelines of this country. The Upper Karnali, the Arun and the Lower Arun to the dear neighbor. And to appease other foreign collaborators, the secular federal democratic republic, the secular federal democratic republican regime continues to allow other foreign powers, other foreign interests to conduct all sorts of social experiments, much to the detriment of our unique cultures, customs, faiths, and traditions. Now back to the feeble sun. That sun is our democracy. That sun is our national sovereignty. It has become a maid servant of several foreign powers and their Nepali stooges. Democracy and national sovereignty remain in perpetual captivity at those foreign quarters. Another struggle may be necessary to liberate the sun, to liberate democracy, to liberate national sovereignty, and make ourselves the makers of our collective destiny. That would require a long and hard struggle, a long, hard, and arduous struggle. Are we ready for this struggle? That is the most important question of our times. The question hangs in the air. With this remark, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. Please subscribe to my channel, watch my presentation, listen to my presentation. Please give your comments, insightful comments on my presentation. Like and subscribe to my channel. With this request, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.